Welcome back, students. So in this video we will discuss a new chapter, that is sound. Okay, that is chapter 13, sound. So sound plays an important role in our life. It helps us to communicate with another, and we hear a variety of sound in our surroundings. So sound is a form of energy. Sound is a form of energy that helps us to produce a sensation of hearing. That produces a sensation of hearing. So sound is a form of energy which produces the sensation of hearing. Okay, that is about sound. So we talk and we communicate with others by producing sound. Birds, insects and animals also produce sound. So in this chapter we will learn how sound is produced, how we hear the sound, why some sounds are louder than some others, how does the sound travel from one place to another. All those things we will discuss in this chapter. Okay, so that's our first video about this chapter, how sound is produced. How sound is produced. So sound is produced by the vibration of objects. Sound is produced by the vibration of objects. Means when an object vibrates, it produces sound. When an object vibrates, it produces sound. So here a plastic scale is there. A plastic scale or a metal scale is there. When you press it with your hand and when you flip the other side, you will be able to hear the sound. You will be able to hear the sound. In this one, a rubber band is stretched in between two pencils. A rubber band is stretched in between two pencils, and when you pluck that rubber band, you will be able to hear the sound. You will be able to hear the sound. In here, in this one, it's a musical instrument which produces sound. So sound is produced by the vibration of objects. Now what is meant by vibration? The to and fro motion of an object or back and forth motion of an object is known as vibration. To and fro motion, when you pluck the rubber band, it will move up and down. So that is known as vibration. Okay. So sound is produced by the vibration of objects. Sound is produced by the vibration of objects. The to and fro motion of an object is known as vibrations. The to and fro motion of an object is known as vibration. Now, so many instruments are there. So, in all these instruments, with the help of a string, a membrane, air column, we can produce sound. We will be able to produce sound. When a part of that instrument starts vibrating, then it will produce sound. So, here this one is a sitar. Stretched string is there. A string is stretched in between the portions, and when you vibrate, when you pluck that stretched string, it will produce sound. Here in tabla, a stretched membrane will be there. A stretched membrane is there. Then that stretched membrane will produce the sound. Stretched membrane will produce the sound. Then when this metal, when this bell is struck, then If you struck the bell with something, then it will produce the sound. Okay. So, this one is known as gel tarang. That is gel tarang. Gel tarang, it will also produce a pleasant sound. It is due to the different level of water in the bowls. We will hear a pleasant sound, and that sound is produced due to the different level of water in the bowl. So, here so many bowls are there, it is filled with water. The level of water in each bowl is different. So, depending upon the length of the vibrating air column, sound will be produced. Depending upon the length of the vibrating air column, sound will be produced. So, when you plug the string of an instrument like sitar, the sound that we hear is not only that of the string, the whole instrument is forced to vibrate, and it is the sound of that vibration of the instrument that we hear. Similarly, when we strike the membrane of mridangam, the sound that we hear is not only that of the membrane, but of the whole body of that instrument. So, sound is produced by the vibration of objects. So, in your textbook, so many things are given, that is activity 13.1. You are asked to strike a pan with a stick. So, when you strike the pan with a stick, it will produce sound. Then, take a rubber band, put it around a longer side of the pencil box, insert two pencils between the boxes and the stretched rubber band. Now, plug the rubber band somewhere in the middle and you will be able to hear the sound. So, vibration of objects produces sound. Then, in some cases, the vibrations are easily visible to us. In some cases, the vibrations are easily visible to us, but most of the cases, they are very small and we can't see them, but we can feel them. In some cases, the vibrations are visible to us, but in almost all cases, these vibrations are not visible to us, but we can feel the vibrations. So many musical instruments are given there. Guitar, violin, veena, sitar. It will have a stretched string. So, when you plug that stretched string, it will produce sound. Then mridangam, tabla, dholak and drum. Stretched membrane is there. So, with when the stretched membrane vibrate, the whole object will vibrate and you will be able to hear the sound. Flute, bugle, whistle, shehnai. When air column will be there. When the air column vibrate, you will be able to hear the sound. Gel tarang, khadam, all those things struck instruments. We have to struck it with something. Then it will produce sound. So, gel tarang is a device that consists of, it's a arrangement that consists of different balls filled with water at different levels. So, depending upon the level of the water, it will produce a pleasant sound. We will hear a pleasant sound. It is due to the different level of water in the bowl. Now, how do we hear or how do we produce sound? So, this one is already I mentioned in veena, sitar, violin, stretched string, tabla, mridangam, drum, stretched membrane, shehnai, flute and mouth organ, air column will vibrate and we will be able to hear the sound. How do humans produce sound? So, when you keep our hands on this neck portion and when you speak something, you will feel the vibration. You can feel the vibration. So, actually, sound in our body or in humans, sound is produced by the voice box called larynx located at the upper end of the windpipe. This portion. Okay, this portion. That is a larynx. That is situated at the upper end of the windpipe. That is known as the voice box. And in humans, sound is produced by the voice box known as larynx, which is situated at the upper end of the windpipe. Now, at the upper end of the windpipe, two vocal cords, it is situated at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. When you see that, here in this diagram, a small slit is there in between the two vocal cords. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of the air. For the passage of the air. So, the two vocal cords get stretched across the voice box, has a slit through which air is forced out by the lungs. Air is forced out by the lungs and it produces sound. So, when the lungs force air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrate, producing sound. The vocal cords vibrate and produces sound. The muscles attached to the vocal cords can make the cord tight or loose. When the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type of quality of voice is different from when they are loose or thick. Now, when the vocal cords are tight and thin, the sound produced is of high pitch. The sound produced is of high pitch. When the vocal cords are loose and thick, the sound produced is of low pitch. The sound produced is of low pitch. Now, there is a difference in the length of the vocal cords for women and men. Men have longer vocal cords than women. Men have longer vocal cords than women and children. So, the vocal cords of men is about 20 millimeter and that for women is 15 millimeter. That is 5 millimeter shorter than that of men. So, in women these are about 5 millimeter shorter. That is for women it is about 15 millimeter. So, shorter the length of the vibrating air column, higher the frequency or higher the frequency of the sound produced. So, shorter the length of the vocal cords, higher the frequency, higher the sound produced is of high frequency. So, women's voice is of high frequency. Women's voice is of high frequency. Children have very small vocal cords. This is the reason why the voice of men, women and children are different. So, the length of vocal cords is very small. So, children also have high frequency sound or they will produce high frequency sound. Then activity 13.6 is there that explains the working of vocal cords. With the help of paper you can make a slit like this and when you blow air through that slit you will be able to hear the sound. Okay. So, that is about sound produced by humans. So, sound produced by the human the sound produced in the voice box called larynx located at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box and has a slit through which the air is forced out by the lungs. The muscles attached to the vocal cords make it tight or loose. When it is tight, the sound produced is of high frequency. When it is loose, the sound produced is of low frequency. Now, there is a change in the length of the vocal cord for men and women. For men, it is about 20 millimeter and for women, it is about 15 millimeter. So, the sound produced by women is of high frequency because shorter the length of the vocal cords, higher the frequency. In children, the length of the vocal cords are very small. So, they also produce high frequency sound. So, in this video we discussed about sound that is produced by the vibration of objects. Sound is produced by the vibration of objects. What is meant by vibration? To and fro motion of an object is known as vibration. To and fro motion of an object is known as vibration. So, different musical instruments are there that produces sound, depends upon the which part of that instrument is vibrating. If it is a stretched string, then it can be a stretched membrane, it can be a air column also. Okay, thank you.